He said, half the money I spent on marketing is wasted. The trouble is, I don't know which half.
Yeah.
Very
Like,
clever.
He's thinking that maybe I'm wasting the other half.
Wow.
I should invest everything in marketing.
That's a thinker. So we talked about time. Let's talk about money. And we talked about how to know when is the right time to seek marketing support. How do you know what the right amount is to invest in marketing support services?
Yeah. So as previously mentioned, our services are under two pillars. We've got the search and social. Both of them are like best friends. If I am a CEO of a company, I will distribute my marketing budget across search and social. Now, if I have such a tight, small budget, I would have to choose. And 90% of their competition are choosing search. And I understand why. Why would you choose search? Because when people go to Google and I need plumber near me, these are ready to buy customers. So I don't have to go to social media and wait for someone to need a plumber on social media. So I understand why majority of business owners go directly to the search and invest all their money on Yelp or Google Ads or whatever. However, I usually recommend the opposite way. And precisely for the same reason why it makes perfect sense to go Google, the same logic is why we should go all the way the opposite direction and go with social. And this is if they have to choose. And so we're talking here about budgets anywhere between $2,500 a month all the way to $5,000 a month. If your budget is between those numbers, then I personally would recommend to lean all in on social. And of course, you can have your Google business profile and do basic things on search, but not invest heavily in Google. And then with that kind of budget, we will establish a content base, again, body of work, body of videos that showcases your expertise, tells your story, and promote your business. And this body of videos are more important because they differentiate your business. Where with Google, you only have words. Everybody is using the same words, the same search terms. Everybody has good reviews. So there's not much differentiation between the Google list. Mm-hmm. Where with social media, everybody's face is different. Everybody's personality is different. Maybe one of the videos you show some personality that goes completely viral, and then you started your business with a bang, and you can go from 0 to 100 in a very short period of time. But even if that's not the case, this investment is so valuable long term. It pays dividends all the time because you have these foundational videos that kind of like the foundation of your house, the foundation of your business.
Yeah, and one thing that one of the questions that you asked was how much should a business be spending? Mm-hmm. And so a good rule of thumb is any business should be spending anywhere from 15 to 25% of their budget, of their total revenue, right, on marketing.
Wow.
15 to 25%. So that's a really good metric for any business owner. They can take a look. How much are they making every year, right? How much are they making every month? Take that and then take 15 to 25% of what it is that you're making monthly, and that's how much your marketing budget should be, right? Wow. In order for you to do really well and for you to come out on top, exactly like what Naja is talking about.
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I just want to add to this is that if you ask ChatGPT, like, hey, ChatGPT, what is the percentage of my revenue that I should invest in marketing? Mm-hmm. ChatGPT will tell you around 10%.
Really?
However, from what we know, is that for a regular established company with good brand and good inflow of clients, I would understand the 10%. But in this today's competitive environment, if you want to win, if you want to grow, like really move the needle in your business, that's when the 15 to 20% become important. That becomes your leverage to beat their competition. And given how expensive marketing is anyway. So
there's a business journal that actually touches on those numbers, and they talk about how the smaller of a business you are, the more aggressive you should be. That's why they give
Interesting.
that 15 to 25%. 25% should be for when you're smaller and you're not as well known. But as you start to grow, as you start to become known, then that's when you can start to reduce those numbers. And it's counterintuitive because when you're small, you want to start small,
Of
right?
course.
When you're small, you want to take care of every single penny that comes through. But the reality is that when you spend more and you allocate more on marketing, you're more likely to grow faster. And that's what businesses want in the first place. They want to grow as quickly as possible so that way they can feel more at ease.
Wow.
And marketing is at the beginning of all of that.
Wow.
You know-
That's incredible insight.
My first job was at a company called Leo Burnett. And Leo Burnett, the founder, he's in Chicago. We actually went and saw the building of Leo Burnett.
Yeah, we
It's
did.
still there in Chicago. It's a big agency, worldwide agency. It's my first job. He has a famous quote. He said, or no, not him, maybe the Coca-Cola president or something like that, because Coca-Cola is a client for Leo Burnett a long time ago. This is the quote from John Wanamaker. He's one of the pioneers in modern marketing. He said, "Half the money I spent on marketing is wasted. The trouble is I don't know which half."
Oh, that's clever.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Very
Like,
clever.
He's thinking that maybe I'm wasting the other half.
Wow.
I should invest everything in marketing.
That's a thinker. I like that.
Yes.
But so true.
Because some companies are the company is marketing stuff. Like if you think about Pepsi and Coke, I mean they're selling water. I mean everything
Sugar
about
water.
them is marketing. The
Yeah.
whole company is like literally how much they spend on marketing.
And
So-
and I think this is exactly, so I don't have a marketing background. I have an L&D background. I have trading background, right? And I have hospitality background.
Amen.
But marketing is not something that I know much about. But I'm falling in love with it because of things like this. Because you're realizing that the more you invest, the more time you put into it, the more love you give it, the dividends are incredible, right? The return on investment is incredible. And it really is all about the time, the creativity, the money that you put into it. It's almost like a baby, right? And I think that's such a beautiful concept. How much love and nurture can you put into a business through marketing in order for other people to see the value of it as well?
Wow.
yeah.
Very powerful.
It's also like at the fundamental level, if we're talking about like nature itself, you know, you see the elk, they have this giant thing they will have to, you know, to carry on their head, and it doesn't
You're
have
talking
a lot
about
of
their horns.
yeah, their horns. It doesn't have like really a lot of functional benefits except to advertise their vitality to the opposite sex. And so marketing is literally, if you think about it on the deeper level, it's
Choose
Instinctual.
it's
Instinctual.
something fundamental to the
Yeah.
existence of
Wow.
you know, the rattlesnake. It's rattling its tail. It's advertising violence. It's like, come closer to me and I'm gonna kill you. You know, it's doing a form of marketing. And
It
that's,
makes you think of a peacock as well.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
Peacocks are great marketers. You read my mind.
Yeah, peacocks. It makes you think of a peacock. Okay, you go. Why does it make you think of a peacock?
Because that's just like that's the whole purpose of this activity of fanning yourself out and making yourself more appealing for mating or whatever. I don't know the science behind
Yeah.
it, but
But you're so
Yeah.
right. You're so right. The more beautiful, the more colorful, the fuller their feathers are. That's what it's telling. It's telling all of the other females, because the colorful peacock is a male, right? So it's telling the females, look how brilliant and bright and special and gorgeous I am. You want to come to me. You know, you can't help but be attracted to me. And so I think that is such an incredible concept, that it is truly the law of nature. That when it comes to advertising, when it comes to businesses, people choose and remember the businesses that advertise themselves the best.
that stand out.
That
Yeah.
stands out like never before.
I have another example. There's a parrot. A parrot is a very iconic, very strong marketing in the animal world, right? Like it's a beautiful, big, bird with like colorful presence. It can also speak.
Yes.
Like it can use all the gifts it has to advertise itself. And so marketing is truly like it's part of everybody and every brand.
Last example, humans. Look at all of us girls that are like going out to get waxes and to like get our nails done and our eyelashes and they're like, women get Botox, women do all of this stuff to like make themselves more beautiful. They're marketing themselves,
Absolutely.
right? And so they may not see it just in the first vial of Botox, or they may not see it in the first facial that they get, but it makes them feel good. It gives them the confidence. It's like reassuring them. They're creating all of this marketing so that way they could attract a mate, or they can attract, it'll give them the confidence to go out and attract whatever it is that they want in the future.
And build their brand.
Yeah, exactly. Portray themselves in a
build
certain
their
way.
Brand, yes. Portray themselves in a certain way.
Yeah, we all have like a DNA. Right? We have a stamp. This is us. We have a unique set of. We have a serial number, like all of us.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure that serial number stands out, is different than the others.
Yeah.
And so part of everything we do is really building that brand and ensuring that we leave a legacy. Our presence has meaning, and it goes all that route.
And it's deeper and more prevalent now than I think it ever was before.
100%.
So how have you seen, or what's changed in the last 10 years or so that business owners need to really consider and be aware of in the marketing space?
That's such a good question.
This ties exactly for what we just talking about. So we understand that everyone, including humans, animals, businesses, every entity needs to stand out, needs to grab some of the attention on the people, like needs to of its customers, if you're talking in a business sense. So we need to grab that attention. And so what changed is that in the last 15 years, we've seen a phenomena called social media. That is, I remember the time when I started my career in advertising, we used to, all the budgets, 100% of it used to go to TV, magazines, and newspapers and radio. These are the main channels that all the businesses we used to work with spend their money on. But the problem is that marketing is very much correlated to where the people are spending their time. If I remember the time when my sisters will put the radio in the house as they're cleaning the house, for example, or they put the radio and a song comes out and they start dancing. I remember those days.
Yeah, or like my mom, who was obsessed with magazines, and so she would go and go buy. Like literally, I can't even fathom this. Like I would never buy a magazine, but my mom would literally go and look for magazines and buy those magazines, and we had a huge collection of magazines, and so all the advertising was there.
Yeah. Why? Because the attention of the people was on this is how they get their information. These are the media. And then the TV happened, and then everybody is like addicted to these series, and then we're watching the news, and now the TV era, everybody was putting all the marketing dollars into TV, and it was effective because that's what people's attention are. But when we start seeing the numbers, now everything is digitized, we start seeing, a lot of people, even in their homes, they're not putting up traditional TV anymore. They're switching to Netflix and YouTube.
Yeah.
And that time, that consumption, that attention has been slowly shifting to areas like YouTube, Netflix, as well as when it comes to the mobile device. When that becomes popular, we're going to start seeing Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and all of these other social networks come, and then people start to rely more on their individual screen rather than a shared screen in the family. So you start seeing everybody's in their room or on their phones, and that created a phenomena where the attention shifts from those traditional channels into social media. Now, here's the thing, and that's why a lot of business owners are missing this, is that they are still stuck in the old ways. So it's hard to change the habits. TV made us successful. Are you telling me that I need to cut my TV budget to zero? Well, maybe that's exactly what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And it's scary to them because they felt comfortable with TV.
I think a big one too is billboards.
Yeah.
People think, oh well, billboards at one point it was a whole thing. But think about it. You see a billboard, it's maybe a hit or miss if you
Yeah.
look at it for a few more seconds, but you're driving.
Yeah.
You can't give it all the attention.
Yeah.
And so we had one of our clients that used to pay thousands and thousands of dollars for billboards, right? And now they're getting so much more traction through social media. But it was so hard for them to disconnect, to break away from the billboard because in the past, it's gotten them that success, right? So, yeah, now they're so happy because they don't have to spend all those thousands of dollars funneled into billboards. And now they could spend a fraction of that into digital marketing with the pros that we are. And we know how to get that attention. And now he's like, I should have done this earlier.
Yeah. Being able to adapt and evolve is so important.
Yeah.
And it's even cheaper to do that. Cheaper to go with social media than the billboards, although the social media is more effective. And I would ask the listeners or everybody is that when was the last time you were driving and you saw a billboard and you said, oh, I want to buy because of that billboard? Almost none.
Yeah.
But when was the last time where you saw something online on social media and you said, oh, that's interesting. Let me check this out.
Very interesting. Okay, another question about money. Manage our clients' and listeners' expectations about what's a realistic ROI to expect in the first 12 months of working with a marketing agency.
So we established that you need at least a 5K a month to run a intensely growing company in terms of like balancing between producing great content and advertising on the platform so that the right eyeballs see those videos and react to them positively, which in your case is going to be lead. So the purpose of marketing is to generate leads, and you need that balancing act between producing great content and advertising that content. Basically, create good stuff and let people know about it. And so that is kind of like where I see it. Like if you have less than 5K, you can still produce great content, but you're paying with time. So you're always paying either with time or with money. If you pay with money, you go faster, you go quicker. But if you pay with great content is a foundational, so it's very important to start with that. But if you can add to that a budget for ads, that's the magic formula.
That's where you're going to see the ROI increase exponentially.
100%. And really to give results to people, like nobody can guarantee any results, but we're thinking about, okay, if I ask a business owner something, you sell a service, yes? Is it good? Like, just, do you sell a good service? If the answer is yes, do you think if I show this service to 100 people of your ideal clients, one of them will say yes? If the answer is yes, my friend, then you should advertise. You see what I mean? It's simple.
Absolutely.
Do you produce good shit? Yes. If I show this shit to 10 people, will they buy? Yes. Then advertising is your way to go. There's nothing so simple about right.
No, I agree with you. When it comes to ROI, it really is on how much you invest. And the thing that I can say is for those clients that we have worked with, right? The ones that are the most successful are not the ones that did a 1 or 2 time project with us, right? And they were with us for a couple of months.
Of course.
No, we always encourage. And again, we don't have contracts. And this is what makes us really proud is that we retain our clients because we work hard for it every single month. It's not like we get you for a 6-month or a 12-month contract and then we can, rest on our laurels. Absolutely not. Every single month, we make it a point. We're obsessed with making sure that our clients are happy so they can stay with us yet another month. And month over month, they start seeing the increasing leads. They start seeing better performance. They start seeing the metrics that it only gets better. But so over a 12-month span, they're most likely to see a 10 times return. Now, of course, and we talked about this earlier, it depends on the industry because we work with different industries. And so certain industries, there are certain things that are outside of our control. So say like certain laws that have gone into place, or if it's like with ABA, for example, they need to work with specific doctors. So they have to go to a doctor first, get the recommendation to go to them, and then they can work with them, right? So there's third parties that are involved at times. Whereas for certain clients, it's pretty straightforward. We get them the leads, and then they just convert them, and then we're good to go, right? So it all depends on that. But realistically, something that I can be fairly confident on is that first, month over month, their presence is only going to continue increasing. They're going to get more leads. And then at the end of the year, if they look back at that 12-month period, we can almost guarantee a 10x increase.
The results are the proof. I love that.